Hey, how's everybody doing? Now, it seems my DNA studies have struck a nerve, not only with other people, but with myself as well. So, let me just get into it right away. As I was looking, I forgot to share. Hold on, I gotta share screen, share this, share that, share this, and that. Okay, there we go. Okay. So as I was looking at this pie chart here, there was something that struck me, and I don't know if you notice what this is, but you have the L's, you have the M's, and the N. This is the mitochondrial DNA, and this is the Portuguese Jews. I was looking at this chart, and what struck me was the lack of the mtDNA in these Iberian Peninsula populations. So notice here, Portuguese host population. So this is the Portuguese population, apparently, host population. And it has the L. There's light colors here, the L2, the L3. And it has a sliver of the M1 and M8, apparently. And wait a minute, that's not very much. Look at this host population here. Of course, these Bragança Jews don't have any of that except for the L. I think they got the L's maybe, but they don't have any of the M's. And this Belmonte Jews, or Belmonte, which depending on how you want to pronounce it, doesn't only has the H mitochondria, which is the N group. So that's, but what was striking was this Portuguese host population in the Iberian Peninsula, which only has the N mtDNA and no M. So that kind of struck me because normally when you look at the DNA, it looks like you look at the Y chromosome, right? And you can see that Europe has a huge RY chromosome, huge amount of Y chromosome. If we go over here, the R1b seems to like cover almost everything except for this Germanic like areas and places. But that's only a superficial trace. So the DNA haplogroups are like are comparing it to the Rosetta Stone. And once you crack the code, then you can understand ancient human history. So the code is that the L's are the African, the M's are the Asians, and the ends are the Europeans, and I can back that up too. So if I may, if I can find it, or did I lose it already? I might have deleted it. Hold on. So what I'm thinking of here, and I noticed the same thing here with the MTD and over here. There's a heavy Semitic population, like it's all almost all Semitic in the mtDNA. And somehow I had another one. I don't know what happened here. Hold on, I have to go find it again. Oh yeah, I know why I had it now. Yeah, I remember. I'll have to let me look it up again here. This one here. Okay, what am I looking for here? If I can find it. Let's see. This is kind of annoying now. Okay, the Roma popular. Here we go. This is what I wanted right here. Let me go to the file thing here. Skip this here. Oops. Let me go here. Anyway, so this is what I want to point out here. Sorry for the messing it up, because this is the Roma population, which is the gypsies, I guess, in these areas, which is kind of showing the same thing. But this is what I wanted to point out. These blue colors are Asian, as opposed to European, Middle Eastern, and all the rest of the colors are European, Middle Eastern. This Middle Eastern is Semitic, and it's European. So the Asian population you can see here is less than 0.25%, less than 0.25% among the Roma populations. In this Germanic area of Poland, it's even less than an eighth of a percent or something, or less than the eighth of a percent. Yeah. So, and up here, as you go toward Asia, it increases to 0.25%, 0.25%, 0.25%, as you can see. But this is just what I want to point out, is that it's the M's are Asian, and these N's, all the rest of these are N's, are European, Middle Eastern, which are Semitic. So that's what I want to point out. Here we have again the H, V, J, K, N, T, and U, which is all Semitic. The M, you can see the size of the M, and the L, you can see the size of the L. The L and the M are the other two wives of the three sons of Noah. The rest of these The rest of this is Semitic, and this is all Semitic. So that, of course, they're Romanian Jews, but then when you go to the Iberian Peninsula, you still only have a sliver of this M population here. And this amount here, like an eighth, is the L population, which is the African mtDNA, or the Hamitic mtDNA. So when we go here, this is even going through time. Okay, this is a time series of prehistoric mitochondrial DNA reveals Western European genetics. Diversity was largely established by the Bronze Age. So what do we have here? This, of course, notice this is Western European mitochondrial DNA. So this is what we have in the Western European mitochondrial DNA. And of course, the ND is not determined, a not determined category. But notice how this is here. We have a U. Of course, they have the U divided up into different colors, but it's all U, as we can see over here. U is U, regardless. And they like to cut it up all into pieces to make it look like it's something different, but it's all U. Notice these markers here. You have the K, the U, the T, the J, the V, the H, and maybe the X. And these are all under N's. It's all under N, of course. And if we went to this one again, you'd see the same thing. You have the L, the M, and the N's, which are, the N's cover all from N, I, W, R, V, H, J, T, R, U, and K. Okay, these are all under N. Just to get an idea, because this is the Rosetta Stone right here. You understand this, you can understand what's going on with the DNA. So we come back over here. You have the different time periods: Mesolithic, Neolithic, and notice how they got this here. This brown is a U, U5B. And this purple is also a U, U5A. And this blue is also a U. And this red is also a U. So in the Mesolithic time, it was all U, which is all Semitic. Okay, then the Neolithic comes. We have the H, the HV, which is basically the same thing. We have the N, the K, the T, the, I don't know what's the difference, but the J1 would be over here, and the X, which is a small sliver here. So, and we also have the, this U, this U, this U, and the HV, which is the same thing. So basically, we have the same thing, only we have, instead of just U, we have more of an Abrahamic signal population. Because the Abrahamic signal is the K, the T, the J, the H, and the HV. And of course, N is the same, from the same group. Notice here in this time period, whatever it is, basically the same thing like they already mentioned. So it's this U, the yellow U, which somehow is different. We have an a larger X here, which is still Semitic. And what else we have? We have the brown U, the black U, or the HV, and the H, etc., 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 which is all the same thing. Basically all the same thing, but this is all Semitic. This is 100% Semitic. Of course, the not determined here probably has some M in there. Okay. See what we got going on here. Anybody? Oh, we got Honesty Angel, Young Earth Creation, Jeremy Martin, Young Earth Creation, and Jeremy Martin. And looks like people are having a grand time here. Nobody wants to join yet, apparently. There's no atheists want to complain. They complain to me in the comments all the time. But there we go. So if somebody wants to join, they can join, yeah. But anyways, yeah. Feel free to jump in if you have any questions, of course. These are different population. This is haplogroup E1b, which is this amount here, these amounts here. Haplogroup J2, which is these amounts here in Italy. And the R1b. These are the Y chromosome, of course. This is what's showing the strong signal from the Japhethite, because the R1b is Japhethite, and it covers Europe pretty much. Notice how the more you go up into Europe from Italy, the more R1b there is. So and it's the same thing up here. Okay, but the amazing thing is that just how much Europe is covered by the N haplogroup. So notice the H, the HV, the V, the T, the P, the U, and the K. These are all signatures of the Semitic, not only Semitic, but of the Israelite people, the Jewish people. Because notice how initially you had Semitic in Europe. There was Semitic in Europe, but it was mostly the U's. This is all U's, right? Then in the Neolithic, what they call the Neolithic, that's when it became not only Semitic, but largely markers from the Jewish people, from Israel and Judah. Okay, so but we can see the difference here in these haplogroups, because there's Semitic going to the east as well, but they're other colors. But first we're going to start out with the Japhethite mitochondrial here, the M's. Remember, the M is Japhethite mitochondrial. So we have this green color. Notice the green color here, the light green color. This is Japhethite, this light green. Of course, it's all over in the east, right? It's not over here in Western Europe, and that's M. We have this C color, this dark purplish color here. That's all as you go. Of course, the M and the C is really the same thing. They have two different colors, but it's really all the same thing. Remember, the Bible says Japheth went north. Well, there it is right there. That dark purple color and this light green color, which is really the same thing. This C and the M and the C. And this, of course, this dark purple color goes all the way over into America, as well as the D. Of course, here again, you have the D in Asia. So all these are Asians. Remember that the M is Asian and the N is Semitic, according to what we saw in this other chart over here, the one I had to look up. This is all down here, X, H, J, U. This is all Semitic. European, Middle Eastern. Middle Eastern means Semitic in this case, because those are, but as opposed to the M's are Asian. So remember that the M's are Asian. And, okay, there's nothing here. What we got here? Oh, we're back over here. Hold on. So as we go to the east, this is all what they call back in the ancient times, they called them blackheads because of their jet black hair. So the Asians are called blackheads as opposed to the Europeans, which are not exclusively, dark hair or black hair, jet black hair. Okay, so we have more of these Japhethites, the E as well, and the Q. The Q is around here somewhere. Then with the N's, we start in with the Semitic population, but they're not necessarily the Israelite population, which is the B, the R, which is this sky blue, all in the east, of course. The Y, wherever that is, the X. Remember, the X shows up sometimes in Europe. The A, here's the A, it looks like this color here. The W is kind of like in the Middle East, pretty much. The I and the N. Of course, the N is all Semitic. Notice how the Semitic Y chromosome, the Semitic haplogroup, mtDNA haplogroups, is very large. And that's because of the European population and the more Asiatic population, which also goes into America as well. This B is in America. This A is in America. But notice how it's more Asiatic or even Norse, up in the north. I don't know if that's the same one. No, it's not the same one. It's U. This is U. Oh, the U is all the way up here. Wow. That's interesting. Okay, but this darker A is in the east, goes into America. Of course, the A is the same thing as, well, this is the Semitic, but not Israelite, not Jewish. Because as you study this stuff, you'll find there's a difference between um, there's a difference between Judah, Jewish, and Israelite. Because the Israelites were taken captive, and they went up here under the Black Sea, and they were taken from Israel up and then brought up into this area here. So it turns out a lot of this area is the Jewish people, got spread out all in this area here. But what happened was they went up through the pass between these two seas here. I guess it's, what is it, the Caspian and the Baltic Sea, something. And they settled up in here, in this area here. And they were called the Scythians or the Scythians. Plus, there was another population that crossed over this way, the I-2. Notice the I-2 and the J-2. The J-2 and the I-2 are both Israel. Well, this would be Judah, and the I-2 is Israel. So we have, of course, they went up all over into Europe and the Germanic regions. The Germanic tribes were I-1. And that's what happened there. But there was a group here. They call them the steppes. They lived in the steppes. They were called what were they called? The Yamnayas. Yeah, the Yamnayas, whatever they are. They had horses in groups, and they were largely R1, but of course they had other Y chromosomes, including, I think, the I1. And they just went into this area, and it looks like they pretty much covered this area with the R1 Y chromosome. But in doing so, they did not alter the autosomal DNA of the area, of the region. And you can see it in the remaining maternal mitochondrial DNA. You get all this mitochondrial DNA is from the N group. So the autosomal didn't change that much, because remember now, everyone in this area is Asian, and everyone in this area is Semitic. And remember that the RY chromosome is the same thing as the QY chromosome that went to the Americas. Let me go to the other one, if I can find it. This RY chromosome, of course, they confuse it again with the yellow and the red, which is the same thing, the yellow and the red. This RY chromosome is the same thing as the QY chromosome. Q and R are two branches from the same tree, right close together. Now, why is the Q Asian and the R European? Because these are called, historically, they're called blackheads with jet black hair. How is it that this branch is European and this branch is Asian? Well, it's because of the autosomal DNA in Europe, which is largely Semitic, as you remember with this other one here that I had to look up. This is Asian, the M's are Asian, and this European is Middle Eastern or Semitic. The N's. Okay, you have the M's and the N. These are the N's. So what's not Asian is Semitic. So that means that Europe is mostly Semitic because the invaders came. The difference is the invaders here that came into Europe here. These R1Bs that came into Europe, and R1As and R1Bs, they came, only the paternal line came in. So that's what happened. It was only the paternal line. But when the Semitic populations came up into Europe, they came with their family and their kids and everybody. That's why we have here in Europe wherever it is. That's why here in Europe there is only the Semitic population, or Middle Eastern, what they call Middle Eastern population, which is the signature of the Jewish people, which is H, HV, J, and K, N, and T, and U. This is a signature of the Jewish people, of the Jews. Same thing here. Belmonte Jews is strictly H. H and HV, something or others. Bragasa Jews is still the H. Some J's and T's and U's. They got some U's here too, but remember that was in Europe before. But these Belmonte Jews are strictly H and HV. Of course, if anybody wants to know, my mitochondrial DNA is H3V. 3G. H. It's an H. So I have an H, which is very common in Europe, by the way, all throughout Europe. So if we have any contenders here, imagine somebody tried JJ, there's no evidence for Noah's flood in genetics. Yeah, that's funny. Again, it's like the Rosetta Stone. So understanding the different haplogroups is like discovering the Rosetta Stone. Once you understand, and I'm talking specifically of the mitochondrial DNA, which is the maternal line, and the Y chromosome, which is the paternal line. Of course, notice the difference between the Asian Semitics and the Jewish Semitics. Notice the T, the U, the K. These are very common here in the Jewish populations. If I can find the one with Italy again, not this one. The other one, which wherever it is, I don't know. Might have lost it. The one with Italy, where's the Italy one? Must be this one, yeah. So with Italy, there's a large, admittedly, Jewish population in Italy. They almost even look like Jews. So we have the H, the J, the T, and the U. The H, the J, the T, and the U. The H, the J, the T, and the U. This is like a signature of the Jewish population. Of course, here's the Y chromosome for the Jewish population is J2. Notice the size of the J2. Remember, J2 is Judah, and the J1 is Arabic. So even though there is an Arabic population in Italy, J1, J1, J2, it's small. It's a smaller amount compared to the J2. The J2 has that's a huge signature right there of a J2, which is Judah, specifically Judah. And of course, you have I as well. You have the IB2 and the I1. G is a signature of the Jewish population as well. G, and there's a huge amount of I here as well, which is Israel. Here again, up north, where Israel migrated into, there's a huge chunk of I. It's actually a larger chunk of I, a larger amount of I than there is of J2, of Judah, up here. And of course, I is Israel, J2 is Judah, J1, which is a small sliver here, is Arabic. So there's a real small sliver of Arabic as opposed to like this area. Huge signatures in Italy. Italy probably has a larger marker of the Jewish people than any other place that I can think of right now, other than other places. But let's go to this animation, and we can see also the difference between the Yamnaya culture, which is this is the Y chromosome, the Japhethite Y chromosome in these areas here. I don't know if I can stop it, but the Scythians, Iranic, notice, Medes and Persians, and notice how the large area that was the Scythian reach. Of course, the Scythians went all the way up into Germany, of course, all over Europe, basically, all the way into this Mediterranean thing. I don't know if I can stop this thing. I notice this Celts, Germanic, Baltic. This is all Scythian, Iranic, and it's all this area. And if you think about all the area that God promised to Israel, it's huge. But anyway, that's interesting here. But I wish I could stop it, but I can't. It's such a small. This is all the RY chromosome. Now it's the Scythians and their reach. So you can see the difference between the two. Of course, this is a Japhethite, and they have their history here in this place, and then they went over to this place, in these places, and whatever. And then the Scythians, which is, it says Iranic, but the Scythians are Israel. They're the Israelites that went through the pass up through here. And of course, Iran, the Persians are largely Jewish people, if you were to check. So let's go to this other one here, and we'll look here. So you notice this area here is all J2. This is the area of Persia, J2. It's all Israel. And this is the pass between the mountains right up through here that the Scythians, or the Scythians, however you want to pronounce it, went up in this area and then went through all Europe, which is the I2 and the I1, which is called Germanic. And so all this area here, and even Poland, even Russia, many areas of Russia have the I1, I2, and of course, the mitochondrial DNA of the Jewish people. So it was shocking for me to see just how much the autosomal DNA, the mtDNA that there is in Europe. Of course, there's mtDNA, Semitic mtDNA in Asia too, but they're not typically found in the Jewish people, among the Jewish people. So there is a difference there between some of these ends here and some of these ends here, which seems to separate between Europe and Asia. Then, of course, there's the CY chromosome too, which we already know about. The CY chromosome is this color here. You got the C and the D. Of course, the D is in Japan, Tibet, Japan. This yellow is different than this yellow. So we got it comes from the Andamanese, which is down here, but it's the DY chromosome and the C. Okay, so we have the CY chromosome. Of course, it's C4, C2, C3, and this C goes all the way down, all the way into the northern part of South America, where the Waorani tribe is. So here again, the C3. This is Nimrod. We have the Andamanese D, up into Tibet, up into Siberia, D2, up into China over here, Jomons, and up into Japan, the Aniu Jomons. So I think Dr. Jensen even talked about the D2 from the Andamanese, which is from Cush, because Nimrod is the son of Cush. Now this D, his brother, I'm not sure which one it is, but it's probably his brother, probably Nimrod's brother down here, that was a C person, and then they went up into Tibet, Siberia, all the way to Japan. Because DNA doesn't lie, and they're Cushites, descended from Cush. The C is. And since they're dark in color, they're probably Cushites. And of course, stands to reason that they went over this way. And of course, the C went all the way to Australia, but they call it the C4, but it's basically um, the same thing. But it's different from the Andamanese. It still belongs to the Nimrod's um, paternal family tree. And I know this is Nimrod because it can't be anybody else. There's nobody else was the king of Shinar, of the land of Shinar. So I guess I've gone on long enough. No sense in waiting for anybody to come along and have a discussion with me if they're not going to show up. And I've gone long enough, but it's title Europeans are mostly Semitic. And because when the Y chromosome came into Europe, they didn't bring their wife and kids, apparently. But the Israel went into Europe with their whole entire families. Israel and Judah both went into Europe. So I guess that's about it. It's too bad that the atheists can't participate in the discussion, but not expecting a whole lot from them. Once in a while they come in and try to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, but that's about it. Looks like I've lost all my audience anyway. So God bless everybody and stay true to God. Stay true to the truth, and the paternal and maternal haplogroups are like the Rosetta Stone for understanding our human history, because we have a known human history going all the way back to the three sons of Noah, and we can see their family trees both in the Y chromosome and the maternal mtDNA haplogroups as well. So God bless everybody. Stay true to what's true. Hold on to rational thought and facts, and DNA doesn't lie.